Good afternoon. I'm back. I didn't know if I'd be able to stream this afternoon because I didn't know if there was going to be an interview scheduled for this time slot or not, so I didn't put anything up on my schedule. So, surprise! Here I am. I do have an interview on Monday afternoon from 4 to 5, so the job search is moving right along. And then I am going to be stopping at 2 p.m. because another creator is going to be streaming about using Blazor and ASP.NET Core to build full stack development using .NET, which is my happy place. So let's go ahead and we'll flip over to the screen share view right now. And we don't have Visual Studio Code open yet, nor do we have our Astro server running. So we'll open a terminal right now. Here it is. We'll load code. Quit Facebook Messenger so that I don't have any distractions. npm run dev. Off that goes. And I've only got the one Safari window open. We're running. And just to recap from this morning, we got the footer component easier to manage. We added some visual styling to that footer component so that it's not butt ugly. And we started working on the Astro.js tutorial, or started working or continuing through the tutorial that we're using. I noticed that it had pulled all of the social media links out of the footer component itself and put those into their own Astro component. So that struck me as a mighty fine idea. So as you can see here, I have a social links component defined, and it has been integrated with our footer component. So what that means is that I can now add other content to the footer without having that extra content show up when I want to embed the social media links somewhere else. It also means that I'll be able to style those links consistently depending on where they're placed in the throughout the body of the website. So that was pretty cool. The next unit in our tutorial talks about making our header component and the navigation component responsive. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a couple of things before we dive in. Number one, we're going to go back to VS Code, come into session stand up, and we're going to say June 21st afternoon session. This afternoon's goals are get a responsive header component that we can use on all pages in our site. We'll be following the instructions in the Astro.js build a blog tutorial for this. Save that. check and make sure we've added that to our afternoon goals, and we have. Wonderful. And we'll come out here to the home page. I'm just going to move this tab over here. Now, because we're going to be experimenting with different page layouts for different form factors, I'm going to need to turn on the developer tools in Safari. So, to do that, you go into the Safari menu on a Mac, of course, Preferences, Advanced, and let's see here. Is it down here? I was told to look here. Block all cookies, blah, 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 blah. It's not there. General. Nope. It's not under passwords. It's not under profiles. Although I should probably set one of those up. Extensions. Nope. Oh, where did they hide it? That's actually something that drives me more than a little bit crazy. Oh, show features for web developers. Jiminy Cricket. Developer. I'm not going to allow remote automation or JavaScript from anywhere. Disable site-specific hacks. Disable local file restrictions, cross-origin, privacy extension allowance. All right. So we've done that. Let's refresh this. And let's see how we would get to. Here's develop. User agent. Service workers, enter responsive design mode. Here we go. Oh, look, there's a kitten. She shouldn't be out of her jail right now because she's recovering from getting fixed. So I'm gonna have to summon somebody to come and capture her. Just a second. Okay. And I'll just close messages there. Sorry about that interruption. Let's see here. I don't want to open the page with simulator. Oh, I'm really not in love with this. Exit responsive design mode. Okay. In order to simulate different form factors, I'm going to have to install Xcode. That's fine. We're going to cheat. I'm going to get out my phone. I'm going to go to the website. Here we go. And you should be able to see the website on my phone now. And we're just going to do this the silly old-fashioned way. I'll try and get those tools installed over the weekend so that I can do everything on screen and on stream. There we go. All right. So that's up and running. I'm just going to keep the phone here, and as we make changes... Oh, that's only for the deployed website. I wonder... Let's see here. -- host to expose. Let's see what happens. We'll quit the server. Use npm run dev dash dash host. Will that work? I don't know. Localhost 4321. Nope. Ah, poop. That's okay. We're just going to have to pretend that I can do this on my phone because I'm not about to invoke the GitHub Actions 5 or 6 times during this session. What we can do, and this is cheesy, is shrink it down like that. I'm not in love with it, but it's what we're going to have to do until I do some network configuration nonsense, and I don't want to make anybody sit through that. All right, our first step is to add the responsive styles to these links. So let's get rid of footer. We're going to need global CSS. Let's pop open navigation. And we're going to wrap our links in a div with the class -navlinks. So div, grab that, pop it down here, class equals nav-links. Save. All right, now that should not have had any effect on what we're doing here. Oh, I just had a thought. I bet if I find the local IP address of my laptop, where is network? Network, where are you? Here we are. I wonder if I can navigate using the IP address. 192. Port 4321. Nope. Okay. I got to do some configuration. That's okay. We'll figure it out over the weekend, and I'll be able to A, use device emulation inside Safari, and B, serve this thing to my local Wi-Fi network. Oh, I wonder if I have a different IP address. Details. For the Wi-Fi network. Let's see. 192 dot port 4321. Go. Nope. Still doesn't like it. I didn't do something right. That's fine. A little bit disappointing, but we'll get there. I just have to do some additional networking homework over the weekend and try and figure out how to get this thing to serve A, on my local area network so I can view it on my phone, and B, get the tooling installed so that I can emulate different kinds of devices just through Safari here. Step one is adding the responsive styles. We've done that here. We've shown that there has been no effect, but I bet we can inspect the element. And if we come up here, we see that div class equals navlinks. All right, good deal. And we're in developer mode, so I expect there's a ton of metadata and extra stuff that doesn't go into the deployment. But we can take a look and inspect those things on the actual deployed homepage later on. I don't want to get distracted from the task at hand. Oops. Back to the tutorial. What are we doing next? That's been applied. Mobile first design. Start by defining what should happen on small screens first. And that makes an awful lot of sense. So far, we've been designing for a desktop experience because we haven't really been super focused on visuals and layout and so on and so forth. We've really just been trying to get the structure and the navigation bits and some pieces componentized for the site. And we're starting to get into making this thing actually work for other devices and be presentable to the public. We've already got these styles defined in our global CSS. So let's go ahead, and I'm not going to make you guys watch me type all this stuff in because that would be silly. So I am going to go ahead and engage in a little bit of copy paste coding. And let's come down here. There we go. Now, good. All right, let's take a look at what we're seeing here. The nav links div is set to take up 100% of its containing element. It's going to get, it wants to be 5 relative EMs from the top. We're going to set it 48 pixels from the left. We're going to give it an orange background color. We'll change that in a few minutes. Display none, margin 0. Let's go ahead and save this, and I expect that because of this display none, all of our links are going to go bye-bye. Oh, no, we're overriding that for widescreens down here. Hear me out. I am going to comment this out. There we go. Now I bet our nav links are going to become invisible. Oh yeah, they gone. And that's because we haven't overridden that display :none CSS attribute for the navlink div style. And on a mobile device, by default, those nav links aren't going to be visible. So I'm just going to hit Control Z here, save it, and they're back. Oh, those are gross. Those are very, very ugly. I don't like them. I also don't like that inset. Ugh. Trust the process. Let us trust the process. All right, resize your window and look for different styles being applied at different screen widths. Okay, well, let's try that. Come over here. Okay, they're gone, and they're back. Okay. Great. I can use CSS to add responsive elements to my site. We have done it. Semantic HTML tags, those are powerful. We're going to talk about those in a later stream. Especially with the advent of AI services like GPT or Microsoft Copilot, where you can provide a link to the service. it will go out to the site that that link resolves to, grab the content and ingest it, and you'll be able to answer, and it'll be able to ask or answer questions that you might ask about the content of the website. Using semantic tags actually helps the large language models identify contextual boundaries within a web page. It helps with summarization use cases, so on and so forth. It's incredibly helpful. Not to mention the benefits that semantic tagging, like section and aside and definition and all those HTML5 elements that were introduced years ago, those really help with accessibility, like screen readers and so on. All right, back to task at hand. Build a hamburger component. Okay. Create a hamburger component to open and close the mobile menu. Create a file named hamburger.astro in components. Okay. Here's components. New file. Hamburger.astro. Boop. Got that. Copy the following code into your component. This will represent your 3-line hamburger menu to open and close your navigation links on mobile. We'll add the new CSS styles to global CSS later. Okay. So this is the stuff. I'm not going to make you guys watch me type. So we'll grab that, paste it, save it. Place the new hamburger component just before the navigation component in header.astro. Okay. So we'll go back to, well, there's navigation. I didn't create a header. Silly me. We have to go back. I skipped a step. Build a new header component. All right. First thing, new file, header.astro. There's that. We need some front matter. I can never remember the darn imports and all that good stuff. Let's just grab a page here. Go to articles. We're definitely going to need this. Copy. Paste that. And we're going to import hamburger from // hamburger.astro. Spell it right. This is in a component. We don't need the route because we're already in that folder. We don't need this because we're already in the folder. Save. Excuse me. And it says to put it inside a nav element, which is inside a header element. I need to see the code. Here we go. Import navigation, header, nav navigation, blah, 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 blah. Cool. All right. So we'll add a header. And I have a memory like a sieve. So we're going to grab that. Oh, this kitten is full of beans. Here we go. save. And because I'm a dummy, I should go update the navigation components with that header. Check your browser preview. Okay. I also want to go look at the navigation component itself. I'm going to get rid of the HR there. And I'm going to drop it in down here. Save that. And fix my indentation. Save. Okay, navigation Astro, blah, 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 blah. Let's just come out to articles. We'll just modify this one. Import header from header.astro. Change this guy to header. All right, and we'll test. Make sure I didn't blow anything up. I think I made that change on articles, right? I did. Okay, so we have this. Good deal. I feel safe moving this or applying that change to the other pages on my site. So let's do index. And we want to change this from navigation to header. Pop down here. Header. Save. And we want to do the same thing on about. Header. Header. And because I'm a little weirdo, I want these things to kind of appear in the order they're used. Header. Save. Let's make sure we didn't blow anything up. Home. Articles. About. Cool. All right, now that double line there, that's a mistake. We don't want that. So where is that? Header has an HR. Does navigation have an HR in it? It does not. All right, let's see. What happens if I get rid of it? There's one. I gotta wonder if that is coming in from somewhere else. Maybe in our styles. Nav links. Background color. Expanded. I don't see a border. Okay, well then let's take a look. Header has the commented out horizontal rule. That's fine. Navigation. I don't see a commented out horizontal rule here. I am going to pop that indentation in. What's this talking about? No, we're not going to move it to a new file. Sometimes code does some weird things. might that be in our page source? Header H1, articles H1, header, index, header H1. Nope. Is there a border top on H1? No, there isn't. Huh. I wonder why that double thing is happening there. Doesn't matter. Removing it from here, got rid of it. Got rid of the duplication. And it got rid of the line altogether. Ha! Ha! What happens if I put it back in? H1, or not H1, HR. Save it. If we get doubles back, I'm going to be silly. Okay, we're good. All right. Sometimes web stuff gets weird. All right, we've updated our pages. We've added some responsive styles, nav links. Here's the copying and pasting of all that CSS stuff. And send your first script to the browser. All right, we've built our hamburger component. As we can see, right here. Don't believe we've integrated it yet. Let's save that. All right, save. And now we need to integrate it. Place this new hamburger component just before the navigation component in header.astro. Okay. Navigation, hamburger, just before. All right. Hamburger. Let's see what that's done for us. Nothing. Did I save? Yeah. Okay. Let's show me the code to make sure I didn't do anything dumb. Okay, so let's compare that to what's over here. Maybe I should put this here. Save that. Hamburger is there. Navigation is there. Here's our HR just for breaking things up. I bet it's not appearing because there are no styles on it. Because it's saying to add these styles to our global CSS. I want to make sure I grab all these lines. Copy. Emphasized. And these are part of the nav styles. Let's paste that stuff in here. Hamburger padding right, cursor, pointer, hamburger.line, block, width, stuff. Background color is that hideous orange. I really don't like any of these colors. But that's a subject for another day. Let's see if we got them. Hey, look at that. Okay, so it's appearing now all over the darn place. I don't like how it's on a separate line, but I'm going to trust the process. Now we have to write our first script tag. And it wants us to do this in index.astro. Let's read this whole section before we just start blindly following instructions. Because I have a feeling that somebody invaded my coffee. Ew. All right. It's not yet interactive because it can't respond to user input, like clicking on the thing. Oh, I do want to see. Okay, so when we hover over it, the cursor changes shape, so that's good. That comes from the CSS. And the script tag provides client-side JavaScript to listen for a user event and then respond accordingly. Add the following script to index.astro just before the closing body tag. And the reason we add these scripts at the bottom is because if we add them up at the top in the header, it's going to try and execute those scripts as soon as the HTML parser in the browser encounters them. So when we're wanting to add scripts to our web pages, it's always a good idea to put those down at the bottom so it's the last content to load and get parsed. A JavaScript expert would probably give a much more concise and accurate description of what I just said, but that's the basic idea. If we put these up top, our page is going to pause loading while these scripts execute, and it may not have access to all of those document object model elements yet, so it might fail. It's okay. So let's go ahead and just copy these bits. Okay, we're going to copy paste those into index.astro. We're going to check our browser preview at various sizes, verify that we have a working navigation menu that appears and disappears and so on and so forth as we go. And then we're going to take this and factor it out into a JavaScript file. Good. It's not going to make us go through several other page level exercises before we get to moving this script out to a shared file. So again, we'll trust the process, copy that, pop open index.astro, come down to the body tag, and I just want to confirm the exact placement for it. We're going to paste it right below the footer. Right here. Paste that. We don't need two footer tags. That can go away. Save. Now let's take a look at what this is doing. And this looks like it's pure JavaScript. I don't see a $sign, so we're not importing jQuery anywhere. But it is saying document.querySelector.hamburger. So what this is doing is it's looking through the entire document that's been loaded into the browser for an element that has been assigned the class hamburger. It's going to add an event listener of click. So basically it's going to say whenever somebody clicks on an element that has the hamburger class, run this anonymous function. And what it's going to do is it's going to find every element that has a navlinks class on it, and it's going to toggle the existence of the expanded class on that element. So that means when it finds our div that's been decorated with navlinks, if the expanded class isn't also in that element's list, it's going to add it. And if the expanded class is there, it's going to remove it. In theory, because we just added it, let's save the file and test that theory. So we're at that developer dad home. Doesn't seem to be doing anything here. Let's reload. Okay. Aha! Look at that. I like that. That's neat. It's still ugly. It needs a lot of work for styling, but it'll do. I don't like those colors. I really hate the background colors don't seem to do anything, but there we go. Now, when we're not in a mobile experience, I don't want to have this thing showing up here. So inside our media query, I'm going to come down here and I'm going to redefine hamburger. And I'm going to grab display none. I don't want to see that thing. When we are not in a mobile experience. So there's that. Let's drag this down so that it's about as wide as it is on our iPhone. We're good. And it's hidden again. I like it. I like that quite a lot. Okay. Good. That makes me happier. Let's go to importing a JS file and keeping an eye on the time. I've got about 18 minutes left. This morning I had to drop before I did the GitHub commit and push and checking the actual deployment. So at about 5 minutes until 2, we'll start that ritual. We'll make sure that we're in a place where we can commit and get into the GitHub stuff and verify that we've updated the actual website at that time. Importing a JS file. So we don't want to add that script tag on every darn page on our site. So we're going to add a new folder to our application, and it's going to be called scripts. And then we're going to add a menu.js. And I like how they have added this to a discrete file. So scripts, there's that. New file, menu.js, there's that. And we are going to copy this stuff, drop it in a menu.js, save that. Now it says come over to index.astro, and we're going to remove the actual JavaScript code from that script tag and instead import this file. So let's go over to index.astro, remove the code, replace it with an import, save everything. Is everything saved? Yes, it is. Good. Let's test. All right, good. And let's make sure it's all working. Good. let's get this applied. Actually, no, let's not jump ahead. Let's trust the tutorial. Check your browser preview again at a smaller size. Verify that it's doing all the things. Add the same script with import to your other two pages, about.astro and blog.astro, and verify that you have a responsive interactive header on each page. Let's do it. Now again, we're running into a lot of code that we're seeing in common from one page to the next. And my hope is that we're going to be able to create almost like a page template at some point that will have all of these elements that I'm having to copy and paste from one page to the next. I haven't read ahead in the textbook to know that for sure, so I'm just taking it on faith right now. But so far, the design of this framework that we're using has heavily emphasized componentization and encapsulation of things that change or are shared. And so I'm going to guess that at a later chapter in this tutorial that we're working through, we're going to be taking a lot of these things that look the same from one page to the next and combining those into like a master page template. But I've committed to working through this document or this tutorial live, so I will not be reading ahead in the book any further than I already did when I was first evaluating this thing. So we will get there together. That's my promise to you. So we've applied that. Now we need to test because we've made some changes. And just to be absolutely certain, I'm going to go ahead and refresh. We've got home, articles, about. Let's do our width test. Good. Let's go to articles. Hey, this is all right. I'm really not unhappy with how this is all working out. Now we've only got about 12 minutes left in this session, so let's see what's left in this part of the tutorial. We've previously used some JavaScript to build some parts. We've done some dynamic content creation. That is for our social media component, where instead of having a bunch of hard-coded Ahref tags, we instead defined a JavaScript array of JavaScript objects with title and URL, and we use the JavaScript method map to turn each of these elements in our array into a clickable link in our social media component. Then we embedded that social media component in our footer. And then we applied that footer across all of the pages in our site. We've mapped through that list. I just said that. We did some initial experiments with conditionally displaying HTML elements. I ripped those out because those were contrived examples of how to do it. And all of this stuff is executed at build time to create static HTML for the site. And then all of this code that we're writing now and these Astro files, they're forgotten about. We'll actually take a look at the source code once we deploy the actual browser source when we deploy up to the website in just a second. Okay, let's take the quiz. When does Astro run any JavaScript written in a component's front matter? At build time. Am I correct? I am correct. Optionally, we can send JavaScript to the browser to allow client-side interactivity. A client-side JavaScript will be sent to a user's browser when it is written or imported in script tags. We are also correct. One of these days I'm going to get one of these wrong and y'all can point and laugh. And I will point and laugh at the same time. I can add client-side interactivity with JavaScript in that script tag. I can import a JS file. And what was I saying about having something coming along where we will be able to consolidate a lot of this common code into template files or layouts? Sure enough, Unit 4, when we pick up on Monday, I feel like this is probably going to talk us through doing that, which is fantastic. The less code that we have to repeat over and over and over again for no real reason is fantastic. Especially when it's the same code for the same reason in multiple places. If it's the same code for different contexts, sometimes it's okay to repeat yourself. Let's do the source control ritual because we're running low on time and I want to have time to test the live deployed changes that we've made. So everything's saved. We're going to add a commit message. Worked through the Astro.js tutorial to make our navigation section responsive and mobile friendly. Talked about componentization and why it's valuable. All right. Just before I do all these commits, those colors are gonna make me angry. For now, we're gonna use black. Let me see if I can find all of the places where this... Here's a better idea. Does Control H work? Oh, nope. I don't know what I just did. Ha! Ha! Find all references. Can we just do a global replace? Edit. Replace with black. Okay. There we go. And it's not hashtag black, you dimwit. Save. All right, let's find $sign black. Okay, I don't think we found any. HTML, the background color is slightly off-white. That's fine, we'll live with that. Okay. Let's take a look. Make sure we actually... Oh, that's not what I wanted to do at all. No, sir. Did it make the... Okay, so that's what we want. This is the problem with global find and replace. Let's see here. The hamburger, I want that to be black. The background color on the nav links, I don't want black. Whoops, not spotlight search. I actually want a light slate gray. That'll work. And do we have the same styling down here? No, we don't. But Let's make sure that's a little bit friendlier. It's not there. Let's pop this out here. Did I not save? Here we go. Light slate gray. Save that. There. It's gonna have to do. Placed the coloring on the hamburger lines with black and the hover color for our links with light slate gray. That salmon was ugly. Commit. Let's sync. Okay. And so that I don't forget, I'm going to add tomorrow. Get Xcode installed so I can use mobile device emulation in Safari. There. And tomorrow investigate exposing Node apps running locally to my Wi-Fi network. I can view them on my phone. Boom. All right. Got Xcode installed. This is not today. This needs to go to tomorrow. There we go. Come on, Rob. There it goes. Good. All right. Those are my commitments to you guys. We have pushed. Let's load up a new window. Go to GitHub. Come into this repository. Make sure our actions ran. They should have all completed by now. This was 1 minute ago. Good. Let's go to the website. Still don't like the placement, but we can see our link hovers are all working just like we wanted them to. Here's that. Good. And let's load this on my iPhone. And you can see that we are, in fact, rendering in a responsive manner natively on mobile. Mission accomplished. Thanks for joining me, friends. It is about to be the weekend, so please, please, please go outside, and if you have access to green things, interact with the green things. I'll be mowing my lawn in between doing a little bit of this background IT work that I promised I'd get done. But otherwise, I will not be working on this over the weekend. Again, I have committed to myself and you all that I will only be working on building this website live on stream. And I've committed to streaming every weekday, Monday through Friday, from 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. or 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And when my schedule allows, I will do an afternoon stream. For now, I got to jump over to LinkedIn and get ready to tune into Nick Cosentino's stream where he'll be talking about building full stack applications using C Sharp, ASP.NET, and Blazor. So until Monday, have yourselves a great weekend. Take care of yourselves. Be kind to yourselves. And please go out and get some fresh air and give your brains a break. Your brains will thank you. Take care, everybody.